I tried to yell at him, but I have no voice. I swing around to view everyone. Are they seeing what I'm seeing? Nobody is seeing what I'm seeing. The crew are tending to their gear. The chopper is holding steady above. Maria and the host are chatting away in the lowrider. Everyone is sane and happy, but me.
Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away.
Two tickets to paradise and make it snappy.
Attention passengers, we need another volunteer.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff.
Hello, and welcome to Come Fly With Me and Other Travel Mischief. I'm John Lapidese, and these are my personal travel stories of adventure, mayhem, foolishness, and swinging through the jungle of life. Is this really happening? Have I lost my grip on reality? I can't find my cameraman, and there's a helicopter waiting for us, hovering 100 feet above. And Maria Shriver sits nearby in a lowrider, putting on her makeup. But the craziest part is, this isn't a dream, unfortunately. Riding, flying, and pumping gas with the First Lady. Ever lose your voice? I don't mean laryngitis. I'm talking about seeing something so bewildering the air abandons your lungs, leaving you to silently flap your jaw in the wind. So what was it that caused me to go all Lou Costello, face to face with the mummy, wheezing, stammering, and sputtering? What ungodly thing did I see? Just one of my cameramen, filling his van with gas. No big deal. Unless you had a bird's eye view of the scene. If you could rise into the air, say 200 feet, and look down on all the participants in this absurd play, you would understand my gobsmacked reaction, and you'd probably laugh. A lot. We were doing a travel show for our friends at the Travel Channel. This production was a spin-off of the World Tour series we had shot around the world. In those programs, a nation's leaders showed viewers a personalized tour of their country or kingdom. But now we were doing a First Lady's tour, so the leader's spouse would be our tour guide. This show was about California, and the state's First Lady at the time was Maria Shriver. Maria was our tour guide, along with the series' regular host. A big booster of all things Californian, Maria spoke about life as First Lady, and her enthusiasm carried the show with an energy that made us all want to run up and down the state. Which was appropriate, this being a travel show, so we used every form of transportation available to us, from limos to lowriders, to explore the Golden State. California is a big, diverse place, meaning we had lots of cool territory in which to play. We choppered around Mount Shasta, rode with the herd in a wild horse sanctuary, sailed America's Cup yachts, bicycled the wine country, explored the governor's offices, and cruised the state's amazing coast. After all that travel and transportation, we were wrapping up our production in Southern California near San Diego. There was a beautiful stretch of coastline with dramatic cliffs and picturesque collections of beaches, sea lions, and surfers. We decided to shoot a scene with the First Lady motoring this iconic corridor in the ultimate California car, a 1965 pimped-out Chevy lowrider. The scene would evoke images of another First Lady, looking happy, carefree, and windswept. Jackie Kennedy, who of course was Maria's aunt.
When it was time for Miss Shriver to do her thing to camera, she gave it her absolute all. She's there to do a job, she hits her mark, she delivers the lines, and you don't need to do it again.
That was Tim, the assistant director on the shoot. He figures prominently in the story. In just a few minutes. So here's the plan. Maria and our host would be in a lowrider cruising the coast road, pointing at landmarks and chatting. We would cover them with 2 cameras. One would be in a camera car just ahead of them. The other camera would be in a helicopter overhead to follow the action in the beautiful winding coastline. The scene wouldn't be all that complicated, but it would have to be organized so the 3 vehicles, 2 cars and the chopper, are moving along in sync. We would communicate by radio as we traveled to keep ourselves aligned. I'd be looking at 2 monitors to see what the cameras see and to make adjustments. If it all worked correctly, we'd be like a troupe of acrobats traveling down the road, everyone mindful of their spot in the routine, careful to stay in line. One errant move, and the entire construct would fall apart, like a Jenga tower.
But sometimes you just got to go for it. It's called guerrilla television, and it's fantastic, and it's a lot of fun.
To shoot a scene like this, you first have to assemble everyone at a designated spot. We chose a little grouping of stores and a park just off the coast road. Our group is the Chevy lowrider with our 2 talents seated and ready to drive, the camera car with the cameraman, assistant cameraman, audio tech, driver, and producer, the helicopter with the second camera hovering just overhead. Tim, the assistant director, and I run about making sure everything is ready to go. I check in with the talent one last time. They're good. They know what the landmarks are on the road ahead and what they'll be pointing out. I radio to the chopper about 100 feet above. The cameraman there gives me the thumbs up. I check in with the camera car. The audio tech is good, the assistant camera and driver are ready, but now my eyes zoom in like a 70s action movie. There's an empty space next to the camera, where the cameraman should be. Where's the cameraman?
As an AD, one of the things that gets you through the day is you think that you've got it. You think you've done the checklist, and with the doing of the checklist, you feel confident. And 5 minutes prior to you saying, "Tim, let's roll," the director of photography was standing beside me. In fact, he had just got out of the picture car and had done a final check on the camera. So I ticked off that box. The DP is with us. And then 5 minutes goes by, and it goes by, and you look at me and go, "Well, let's go, Tim." And I go, "Yeah, let's go." And you go, "Well, we can't go." And I say, "Well, why can't we go?" Because you said, "Because we don't have the DP." And I looked at you and I went, "Of course we have the DP. He was right here." I look and he's not. And you're looking at me for an answer because the AD should have that answer. Where is the crew? That's the checklist. And Ed wasn't there.
Maybe the cameraman's getting some last-minute piece of gear. I run around the cars searching for him. Nothing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I look back at Tim. He gives me a panicked shrug. I decide to widen my perimeter and cross the street, passing locals who have stopped what they were doing to stare up at our chopper hovering just above us.
At this point, we're into 10 minutes of the helicopter going around and around and around and around. And if you've ever known people with helicopters, everybody stops. So everybody's stopping in the middle of the highway, looking at this helicopter going around and around as we desperately search for Ed.
Where is the guy? Is he sick? I pause. Is this a dream? No, the roar of the chopper overhead is too real. Did we leave him somewhere? How do you lose a cameraman? Was it something I said? Now I'm starting to conjure up fanciful but silly possibilities. I squint and do one more sweep of the area.
I know this is a terrible thing to say, but at that moment I was more fearful for myself than actually for the production, because not only had I recommended highly that Ed do the gig, but Ed was also a good friend of mine. So here I am giving a high recommendation to a terrific director of photography. I had sold Ed to you. You had taken my advice and you'd taken good faith that I knew what I was talking about. And the moment that we really need that guy, he's physically not there.
This is impossible. Suddenly, I have the urge to go home. And that's when I do my triple take. Maybe the first triple take I've ever done. There he is, standing maybe 50 feet away, at a gas station, leaning against his van, casually filling up his gas tank? Calm and relaxed, like he's just stepped out for some groceries, and then had the afterthought to gas the van. there he stands, blissfully unaware of the crew, the cars, the talent, the chopper, the noise, and all the people gathered about. I tried to yell at him, but I have no voice. I swing around to view everyone. Are they seeing what I'm seeing? Nobody is seeing what I'm seeing. The crew are tending to their gear. The chopper is holding steady above. Maria and the host are chatting away in the lowrider. Everyone is sane and happy, but me. I swing back to the cameraman just standing there, gassing his van. Am I in the same dimension as everyone else? Why is none of this making sense? I see Tim in the corner of my eye. He's off to the side looking about frantically. I twirl my arms like batons to catch his eye and then furiously point in the direction of the gas station, the van, the cameraman. Tim's body snaps to. I see the disbelief come over another person, and it's comforting. Yes, finally, someone has entered my world. I am not alone in this cartoon.
I had no other thought than go and get him, and I remember quite clearly racing across the highway, Pacific Coast Highway.
Tim runs up to the gas station, and it's all frantic, like a silent movie.
I remember going up to him, and I'm just utterly flabbergasted, and I said, "Ed, what the F are you doing?" And very calmly, because Ed was a particularly calm personality, he said, "Well, I was about to run out of gas. I'm filling my car up." I said, "Ed, look!" And I point to the sky, and I point to the camera car, and I point to the van. I said, "We're ready to shoot."
And like in a silent movie, Ed takes it all in, and his face explodes. He rears back, all wide eyes and gaping mouth. Suddenly everything shifts into fast motion. He scrambles, rips the pump from the van, gas flying, and jumps in. I can almost hear the racing piano music now, pushing him to go faster. I turn back to the cars and the crew. Incredibly, no one has seen any of this. Maria and the host are still yakking it up. The chopper above is hovering at hundreds of dollars an hour. The crew is patiently waiting. For them, time has barely budged. No biggie, just waiting for the go. Hey, nobody's perfect. I like this cameraman. His work is good, and he's a nice guy to boot. I watch as he leaps from his hastily parked van and races to the camera car, arms, hair, shirt flying. Okay, we lost a few minutes and some aviation fuel, and I guess I could get mad at him for his lack of attention to everything. But who amongst us hasn't had a moment when we sort of skipped out of time and went to a calmer, peaceful, happier place? I know I've been in meetings where I've drifted off to another land. We all journey somewhere whenever we have the opportunity. For instance, every night in our dreams. Perhaps my cameraman had slipped into a dream, you know, the sort where you have to take care of mundane things like feed the dog, polish the silver, and gas up the van. I don't know. It's too easy to be judgmental. We are finally ready to roll, and I signal this to Maria. She waves and smiles back. It's all good. I jump into the camera car next to the cameraman. Now he is super focused, hands gripping the camera, eyes glued to the viewfinder. You good? I ask. I'm ready, he announces to everyone. Then we all move off together in sync, heading down the coast road. The camera car, the Chevy lowrider, and the chopper above, like that traveling team of acrobats. As we pick up speed, Maria points out some barking sea lions below. We record this with our cameras. Everything is working. The scene continues without a hitch.
As it always usually does turn out, we got everything we wanted, and it was fantastic.
But of course, that's how we planned it. Lots of fun musicians helped us out today. Holy Coast, the Vivisectors, DJ Harrison, Jackie and the Cedrics, Scott Joplin, and the Atlantic Dance Orchestra. Thanks also to Tim, Maria, and Ed. And all of you for joining in the shenanigans. You're listening to Come Fly With Me and other travel mischief. Head over to comefly.net to hear all our episodes. In 2 weeks, we travel up the coast to Portland, Oregon. It's a road trip for me and my girlfriend, Chris. Can we survive our first vacation and each other? Tune in. I'm John Lapidese, frankly no longer surprised by anything, and looking forward to traveling with you soon.